Okay. So, day 29. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you do this practice, and you might do it on day 229, that's all okay. So we're gonna use the wall today. And to start, we're actually gonna start a little bit away from the wall. So you wanna be about a foot and a half away from the wall. And then place your hands against the wall, lean back, place your bum against the wall, and now separate your feet wider than your hips. So if I'm standing on at this wall, sorry, so my feet are not here because that's too wide, a little bit closer, but not underneath your hips. So lean your bum against the wall, and then you want to keep your legs straight if at all possible, and then slowly start to fold forward, drop your head, lean against the wall. So maybe you need to adjust a little bit by walking a little bit more forward. Make sure you're not slipping. So you don't really need your mat for this unless your floor is really slipping. So take a breath in and then exhale, see if you can release. So we're going to stay here for another 5 breaths. Make sure your legs are straight. See if you can release a little bit in the hips. And now place your hands somewhere on the legs or on the wall. And we're gonna see if we can lengthen, like push yourself a little bit off the wall, lengthen your legs even more. Lift your tailbone up to the sky and then come back against the wall. So with this, you're gonna feel a little bit more stretch into your legs. So if need be, come a bit higher, place your hands onto your thighs, but drop your head. We want to find that stretch through a very calm pose. So this is also a forward fold, but it's a supported forward fold. So let's stay here for another 3 breaths. If you want to walk your bum up the wall even more, go for it. So gradually stretching the legs a little bit more. And then place your hands again against the wall. So just the fingertips. Bend your knees, press yourself up off the wall, and then very slowly, really slowly, coming back up. So you might be a little bit dizzy, so move very slowly. Take the heel of your hand, place it in between your eyebrows if you feel dizzy, and then bring the legs together. So this time we're gonna go against the wall, but the heels are gonna be against the wall. So I'm standing straight against the wall, and we're gonna do a Tadasana mountain pose against the wall. So my feet are together if your knees are not knocking on each other. Lift your toes and feel what happens. So especially if you're smacked against the wall, you don't have that much space to move for your muscles to move. So as you lift your toes, maybe your kneecaps activate, your quads activate, your calf muscles might be in the way. So your calf might be pushing against the wall. That's fine. Don't worry about it. And then place the toes again on the floor. Take a breath in. Lengthen your whole body. And now roll the shoulders back and press your shoulder blades into the wall. So here you're going to have to see for yourself, because with me, with my scoliosis, I know my shoulder blades are popping out very hard. So for me, this requires, I have the tendency to fall forward here, but really see if you can keep your legs active, lift the belly button up, lift the chest, roll the shoulders back, and then see what is actually touching the wall. press your head into the wall. So my chin is parallel with the floor. And even if we're supported by the wall here, we still have a lot of work to do. My arms are alongside my body, just a little bit off my body. My palms are against the wall, so I can keep on rolling my shoulders back. My upper arm, and I'm talking for me here, so everybody's built differently. But my upper arm for me is pressing against the wall. My chest is nice and open. My shoulders are open. I'm lifting up a little bit. I'm pressing my heels down. I'm finding a bit more length. And then inhale, reach the arms up and overhead. Interlace your hands and turn the palms up to the sky. And continue. So don't lose that connection with the wall. Continue pressing all these parts into the wall. Now you feel as your arms are lifting up, because of your fingers, your shoulders might not be touching. So that's okay for now. So lift up. See if you can open the armpits a little bit more so that your shoulders come back against the wall. Inhale, lengthen. Watch out that your pubic bone doesn't drop down. Your pubic bone comes up, lifts with the belly up in the chest, and your tailbone comes down so that you can stay very stable onto your legs. And then exhale, bring the arms down. This time, lift the arms up to the front, turn the palms to the floor, and then lift your arms up. Armpits are open this time. See if you can press the top of your hands into the wall. Inhale, exhale. So again, watch for the tailbone, watch for the floating ribs. The floating ribs are the indicator where your tailbone is going to go. So if your tailbone pops up, usually your floating ribs pop forward. So just observing, everything is connected. And then exhale, release. So if you don't have the space to move your arms to the side, just move your arms to the front. Okay, so now we're going to turn with our face towards the wall. If you can, bring your toes against the wall, against the ledge, and then reach your arms up. So to start, this time we're not going to push anything forward because our feet are keeping us at a distance from the wall. The only thing we're going to press is our hands. So walk your hands up as high as you can. Press your heels down. Feel the length. So if we would have a bar where we could hold on, we could really get a long, long stretch into our spine. Lengthening, lengthening. And then press your hands down, and I hope you have the space for this, and slowly start to open your arms into cactus. So my elbows, my forearm are on the wall, and I'm going to press my elbows even more into the wall, not so much my hands, but especially my elbows. So my elbows at the height of my shoulders. So check for a moment, keep the rest of your body long, roll the shoulders back and then press your elbows. Feel the chest opening, feel the shoulder blades working, strong legs. And then release your arms. We're not done with the wall. So now we're going to come with our right side against the wall. So what we want to do, you don't want to be with your outside of your right foot against the wall because usually your hips and your shoulders are wider. So we don't want to start to lean over like this. So we're standing straight. My right shoulder is against the wall or my right hip, depending how you're built. Lift your right arm up. Turn your palm towards the wall. So now you can maybe come a bit closer with your feet. My left arm, I'm going to bring my left hand onto my hip. And I want to make sure that my hip doesn't move. So my hips are perpendicular with the wall. Take a breath in. Walk your hands a little bit higher. So creating space on the right side. Now turn the palm towards the front, towards your gaze. And then continue that turn so that your thumb is eventually going to touch the wall. Maybe, maybe not. So not just the wrist, but move the whole arm if you can. And then turn it back, place the palm again against the wall, and then see if you can turn the palm towards the back. So my I was going to say my big toe, my thumb stays on the wall. So there you might feel a little bit more stretch into the shoulder. And then bring the palm against the wall again. And now come onto your fingertips in the right hand and walk your hand back. So straight arm, press your right hip into the wall so that it doesn't move. Keep your left hand onto your left hip and just see how far you're going to go. So we're really opening the shoulder here. You might not get very far. That's totally fine. We want to keep our body forward. So we sometimes do this opening, the same opening when we're on the floor and we going and lay on one side. Much easier on the floor than it is here, because here we're really held in place by the wall. So walk back very gently. When it blocks, when it's too much, you stop and you breathe, and that's probably going to be your maximum. So you don't want to overstretch here, but you want to feel a nice opening in to the shoulder. And then slowly coming back, swing the arms forward if you have the space, and release. So just stand there and observe the difference between one side and the other side. So turn to your left side again. Your left outer foot is not against the wall, because otherwise you will not be straight. So first distance is the left shoulder against the wall, or the left hip, but most probably the shoulder. So standing your mountain pose, reach your left arm up, palm onto the wall, and I'll walk up. Maybe you can come a little bit closer, right hand on the right hip. Take a breath in, inhale, and we're gonna turn in the shoulder. So open your palm towards the front, so the same direction as your gaze, and then continue turning so that the palm is facing away from the wall. Maybe you can go a little bit further, maybe not. Continue breathing, continue standing tall and strong and stable. And then coming back, so palm against the wall again, and now turn to the other side. So maybe you observe a difference between one side and the other. That's okay. So these are not where these movements do not bear any weight. So if you have shoulder issues, these are actually the best ones to do, because there is no weight from your body onto your shoulder, and you're just opening, stretching those muscles. And then bring the palm back onto the wall and come onto your fingertips, and very slowly press your left hip into the wall so it doesn't move. Right hand onto your right hip, and then walk your hand back. So don't move your upper body towards the wall. We want to really just focus onto our shoulder here. One side can be very different than the other. Make sure you roll your right shoulder back as well, so that we keep the chest nice and open. Two more breaths here. And then slowly coming back, bring the arm down and release and shake it out. So let's do both arms now, not with the wall. Bring your hands in the back, interlace your fingers. With bent elbows, roll the shoulders back. So it's always easier when your arms are straight, you have way less space to move. So bring your hands a little bit higher, roll the shoulders back, elbows back, and then lengthen out your arms. Inhale, and out. Strong legs, hips remain on top of your heels, and start to pull your arms down. And as you do this, lift your chest up. So I'm not bringing my hips forward. Activate your core, activate your bum muscles, and open up the chest. Keep on breathing. You can look up to the ceiling. You can look forward. If looking up is too much for your neck, don't drop your head back. Inhale, exhale. And then slowly release. Inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, fold forward. So bend your knees in time. And just let your shoulders relax. Let your head relax. Let your spine relax. Take a breath in, exhale, release. Press into your feet and inhale, come all the way up. And exhale. So we're going to continue using the wall. So now we're going to take a distance from the wall and we're going to bring our hands at the height of our shoulders. So I'm not straight, I'm just leaning. That's because it's a work in progress. And then I'm going to start to lower my hand and bring my feet a little bit more back. So lower my hand. If you have your camera looking at you on your screen, you can have a look, and you want to have your heels underneath your hips here. So my arms are not just hanging there. Imagine we're doing a downward dog, but instead of being on the floor with our hands, we're against the wall. So separate your feet a little bit, as wide as your hips. Push your hips back, press into your hands, really strong arms. Really, really strong arms. I'm lifting my kneecaps. I'm activating my legs. My belly button is active. My core is supporting me, and I'm pressing the wall away. Inhale, exhale. Roll the shoulders out. Roll the eye of the elbow to the sky, but keep your thumbs pointing at each other and keep on pressing the thumb and the index finger into the floor. Inhale, exhale. Keep your hands where they are. Just look up for a moment and take a step forward with your right foot. So turn your left foot out a little bit. Bring your right foot a little bit off the center so that you're in a stable position. And then if you need to adjust your feet, you're going to go and adjust. Press your hands into the wall. This time your arms can bend. Press your hands into the wall. Make sure your hips are parallel to each other. Press your right foot into the floor. Press your left foot into the floor. My both legs are straight. So keep those elbows going down, not to the side, so down. Inhale, exhale. So press still into, you're still pressing with your hands into the wall to get the length in your spine, and then slowly come up. Maybe you need to walk your hands a little bit higher. Bring both your legs, bring both your feet next to each other again. And again, push your hips back. Find that length into your spine. So straight corner here. Look forward. Bend, bring your left foot forward, so a little bit out. Turn your right toes a little bit out. Balance your hips so they're parallel with the wall. And then slowly start to bring your elbows in. So your elbows are not pointing out. Bring them a little bit more in. Feel the width in your upper spine. And then slowly go forward. Keep those legs strong. So lift the kneecaps. Press into both your feet. Inhale, exhale. Keep on breathing. And then slowly coming up. And this time, hands onto your hips and walk your feet together. So shake it out. So for me, I feel a lot of work into my arms. My attention got not so much focused on my legs, although they worked a lot, but I worked a lot with my arms. So let's stand in mountain pose, feet a little bit separated, not wider than the hips. Take a breath in and exhale. Inhale, reach the arms up. Grab your right wrist, lengthen your upper body, and exhale, go to the side. Inhale, lengthen. Keep your hips in line. Press your right foot down. Open up the right armpit. Open up the left armpit and lengthen the side body. And then slowly coming back, exhale. Inhale up. Right hand grabs the left wrist. Lengthen your spine. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale. So finding that opening in the side. And then inhale back up. Exhale, release. Just turn the shoulders a few times to release whatever needs to be released. And maybe shake it out. So let's come to the front of the mat. Stand in your Tadasana again. And then inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, start to bend your knees. So push your hips back. Bring your feet together. Reach your arms up or reach your arms forward. Or if your arms are too tired, you keep them on your hips. So watch out that you don't curve here too much. So activate the core. Come a little bit lower and a little bit lower. You know, there's an end to everything. Yeah? So inhale and then exhale, fold forward. Inhale, long spine. So your hands can be on the floor, on your tibia, on your thighs. Same lengthening as we did with the wall. And then exhale, fold forward. Bring the hands down and now bring the right foot back for warrior one. So my right toes are pointing slightly out. My left toes are pointing forward. And I'm going to press into my back foot, use my front leg and come all the way up. Adjust your hips if necessary. Reach your arms up. Coming cactus. Keep them here. You know how your body feels today. Inhale, exhale. Maybe come a little bit lower. One more breath here. And then as you exhale, bring the arms in the back. Lengthen your arms. Interlace your hands. Open your chest. Strong feet, strong legs. Exhale, come on the inside of your left leg. So my arms, if you can reach your arms up. The most important is that your shoulders don't fall forward. So keep the heart reaching forward. Inhale, and then as you exhale, release the hands. Bring the hands to the floor. Lift your back heel and maybe hop a little bit closer. And then from here, start to lift your back leg up as high as you can. You can keep a micro bend in your standing leg. Just make sure that your hips remain parallel with the floor. So coming a little bit lower maybe, or maybe not. And then exhale, bring the right foot next to the left. Inhale, long spine, straight legs, roll the shoulders back, reach your heart forward. Exhale, fold forward. Bend your knees, press into your feet, long spine, come all the way up. And we continue, exhale, fold forward. Inhale, long spine, roll the shoulders back, lengthen. Exhale. From here, start to bend your knees and inhale, come into your chair again. So reach the arms up or any variation, reach up. And then exhale, fold forward. This time bring your left foot back for your warrior one. So adjust your feet, press into your legs and come all the way back, all the way up. So my front knee is bent, my front knee doesn't pass my front heel. I'm strong, my hips are as much as parallel with the front of the mat. If you need to adjust your hips, lift your back leg, lift your back heel, sorry, adjust your hips and then press it down again. Activate the quads in the back leg, activate the kneecap. Reach up, one more breath here. Exhale, bring the arms in the back. Bend your elbows, roll the shoulders back, shoulder blades together, lift your chest. Open up. Exhale, come on the inside of your right leg. So my arms are long, my heart is reaching forward. I'm creating a lot of distance between the crown of my head and my hands. Inhale, exhale. And then release your hands, bring your hands onto the floor, lift your back heel, maybe hop your left foot a little bit closer, and then start to lift it. Keep your knee bent to start, it will give you more stability, and then lengthen your right leg, lift your left leg up. And then slowly bring that left leg next, that left foot next to the right, and inhale, come all the way up. Exhale. And stand in your Tadasana for a couple breaths. You can close your eyes if you're not too, if you're not swaying too much. It's really up to you. So when you close your eyes and you start swaying it, your body, when your eyes are open, is gonna situate you in space. When you close your eyes, it has no reference point. So it's looking for its center of gravity really from the inside. So go back to your wall. We're gonna do warrior three as our balance pose. So you can use the wall, or you can use a chair, or you can use nothing. It's really up to you. Just before we start warrior three, what is the most important is from the crown of the head to your heel of the legs that's gonna lift it is gonna be one straight line. So imagine from your heel all the way, this line all the way to the crown of the head. So that's what you have to keep in mind. Your standing leg remains strong. So for some, it might mean that you're gonna bend your standing leg just a little bit, which will activate the muscles, the quadriceps. Of course, if you activate them, they're gonna work harder and they're gonna tire. So if you feel that you're falling out, see if you can still catch yourself and get out with elegance. So why the wall? So the wall can be used to bring your hands up. This is warrior three as well. But you can also bring your hands at the height of the shoulders, come onto your fingertips, and come into a warrior three here. The other important things is that the hips remain parallel with the floor. So activating the hips. So how can we really press the hips together? Once you're lifted, press the hips together. It's going to give you much more stability. So I'm going to show you without the wall. If you need the wall, if you think you're going to need the wall, just measure yourself so that you know that when your spine is long, your fingertips are here, and that's going to be your starting point. So from here, come into your Tadasana. Find the strength into your legs. Find the strength into your core because you're going to need it. Roll the shoulders back, lift your chest. Long spine, beautiful mountain pose, Tadasana. Bring your hands onto your hips. So we're going to start on our right leg as a standing leg, so strong standing leg, and then bring your left leg just a little bit back, come onto your left toes. So my hips, I want to keep them where they are. I don't want to start to twist open. Your toes are going to be the indicator of where your hips are turning to. And then from your hip crease, so if you want, you can place your hands into your hip crease, bend your right knee just a little bit, and start to lift your left leg. So as I lift my left leg, I'm already in that imaginary line going from the crown of my head to my back heel. If you need the support, go for the support. So I'm going to lift my left leg a little bit higher. And then I'm going to consciously turn my toes, my left toes a little bit more in. So my hands are still on my hips. I want to find my balance first. From here, once you say, okay, this is as far as I can go, you can keep your hands onto your hips, or you can bring your arms to the side in airplane, or if you want the full pose, reaching your arms forward. So I'm just going to move back a little bit. So reaching your arms forward, lengthening my supporting leg now, but you don't have to. Lifting my left leg is so active. I'm reaching forward, my core is supporting me. Keep on breathing. 3 more breaths here. And when it's time for you to come out, you come out with elegance, back to center. It's not an easy pose. You really literally putting your whole balance onto one leg and you're moving your body into that warrior three. It's a very, very powerful pose. So the strength in your upper body is important. Active leg that's lifting and a very supportive leg that's standing. So inhale. So last week we worked a little bit on mountain pose and the importance of the core as well. So here we're putting the both together. So inhale, bring your hands onto your hips or even fingers in the hip crease, whatever works for you. Take a breath in. Bring your right foot back, come onto your right toe. So if you want to stay here, that's fine. So just lean a little bit forward, press your heel back and reach your crown of the head up. So that straight line. If you want to go a little bit further, you can bend your standing leg for more stability. First, we want to bring that leg up if you're going for the full pose. Consciously bring your right toes a little bit more in. Then when you think you're at your highest point, that's how far I'm going to go. Reach the right heel back, reach the crown of the head forward, and adjust the arms to the position you want to do. Two more breaths. And then slowly coming back. I love this pose, but it's not an easy one. So I just want to show you while you're catching up the breath, what you could do also to learn to go into this pose more fully is to bring a chair in the back. And then as you, just testing the distance, as you're lengthening your leg, you can rest the top of your foot onto the floor and then go like this. Just don't lean into the chair. So that's another support that you could use. But as I said, the most important is to find that length into your whole body. Okay. So from here, I want us to move to the floor and we're going to continue using the wall. So if you can bring your mat closer to the wall. If you have space on the side, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine too. Don't worry about that. So we're gonna go down to the floor. Separate your feet as wide as your mat at the back. So I'm at the back of my mat. Place your hands onto your hips, roll the shoulders back. Elbows back. Lower your hands into your hip crease. I know we worked a lot with the legs, so we're not done. Come all the way to the front. So long spine, feet are separated, as wide as your mat. If beside your mat it's not slipping, you can even bring your feet wider. And then slowly release your upper body, release your hands, and walk your hands forward towards downward dog with your feet wide. So this is a wide-legged downward dog. So as I said, if the floor next to your mat doesn't slip, you can bring your feet even wider. For me, everything slips here, so a wide-legged downward dog can be much more restful than the traditional downward dog. So as you have your feet wider, press into your hands, lift your hips. Maybe you feel more stretch in the calves than in the upper legs. Maybe you feel really your spine lengthening here.
Inhale, exhale. And then slowly coming down, bring the knees down.
So now walk towards the wall, and we're going to sit with our hips against the wall. Our knees are bent, but you want to sit straight. So it's always the same story. If you're falling back, sit on a blanket, sit on a pillow so that you don't fall back. And actually, it's not a bad idea to sit a little bit higher. It's going to be a bit more stable. So my right shoulder is against the wall. My right outer foot is close to the wall. So I'm not with my foot against the wall. And then I'm going to inhale, reach my arms up. Take a long breath in. And then as you exhale, turn your body towards the right. Open your arms and now press your hands into the wall, especially that back hand. So press so you can rotate. My hips remain stable. My knees remain stable. If you want, you can also stretch out your legs. That's fine too if you find more stability there. Inhale. You can look to the wall or you can look to the back. So I hope you have enough space. If not, bring your hands in cactus, but it's going to be a little bit less flexible. So lengthen your spine. So always at length. So use the wall to press in to the wall to create length. And then exhale, twist. So supported twist, but definitively not an easier twist. And then inhale, bring the arms back up, turn towards the front and exhale. And then just turn around to the other side. So hips against the wall, knees bent or legs straight, lengthen your spine, reach your arms up, and then open up towards the wall. Open up the chest, open up the shoulders, press especially your left hand into the wall. So the back hand is pressing into the wall. You can just look at the wall, lengthen the spine. Keep breathing. Every inhale, long breath, long spine. And then slowly bring your arms to the front, come back to the front and rotate. So let's come onto our backs. And we're gonna come a little bit further from the wall than your upper legs are long. So that when I put my feet on the wall, I am not with my knees above my hips, but my hips are a little bit more away from the wall. Your heels are at the height of your knees. Your toes are pointing up. And then bring your hands and hold on to your mat. So you're lengthening your arms and you grab your mat to the side. And you're gonna pull onto your mat so that you're pulling the mat away from your head, and your lower spine, your lower back is gonna come onto the floor. So through that pressure. So you can keep your hands here. Press your left foot into the floor and start to lift your right leg up. So push your heel away from you. Hold on to that spine on the floor and then bend your right knee, open the hip and bring above the ankle from the right leg, bring it above the knee from the left leg. So hold on to your mat still now. And this might be enough of a stretch for you. If not, then lift your left foot and press your left leg against your right and open the hip. So I'm still holding onto my mat here. Take a couple of breaths here. So my left knee is bent. My left foot is active. My right foot is active. And then lengthen your left leg up this time. So keeping that opening in the hip. And then lower your left foot back against the wall. And do your right leg against the wall. Take a breath in, hold on to your mat, push your mat away, lift your left leg up. Bend your left knee, push it out, bring your above the left ankle, above the right knee, and then see if this is enough for you for your hip, then you stay there. Otherwise, push your right leg into your left and open up, holding onto the mat. So that's what's going to give the resistance. Flex both your feet. Take 2 deep breaths here. And then lift your right leg up. And then slowly bring it against the wall. So now we're gonna wiggle ourselves just a little bit back. Not too much. So when I put my feet against the wall, so see if you can do a full sole of the foot against the wall, the heels against the wall. Even if there is a ledge, put your heels against the ledge. Don't go higher. My knees are still bent. And now I'm gonna push into my feet and find that length into my spine. So my legs are straight now. My bum, my tailbone is pointing a little bit more towards the heels. So press your feet into the wall and now lift your arms up and overhead as if you're standing in Tadasana, same as we've done before. Lengthen your arms, palms are facing each other, press your heels down, activate your legs. Inhale, exhale. And now open your arms into a T. Bend your knees, knees above the hips, and drop your knees towards the left. So with the length in the spine that we just created, you might be able to go a little bit further. Push your right shoulder into the floor. Drop your left knee to the left, your knees to the left. So don't do any effort here, just let the gravity play. Let the exhale release your body for another 3 breaths. And then with your next inhale, come back to center. Lengthen out the legs again, press into the wall. Reach your arms up and find your Tadasana. Lying down Tadasana again, creating length into your spine. Lots of length into your spine. And then exhale, bring the knees into the chest. Open your arms in a T, and this time drop your knees towards the right. Letting go. For 2 more breaths here. Of course, longer if this really feels good for you. And then with your next inhale, come back to center. Bring the soles of the feet together. Bring the outside of your feet on the floor and let your knees drop out. Keep your arms in a T. And just stay here for 5 more breaths. If this is too much for the groin, then you're going to bring your knees up, separate your feet as wide as your mat, and bring the knees together. So we don't stay here very long without the support. If we stay longer, we put support under our legs. And then very gently close your legs, lengthen out the left leg, lengthen out the right leg. You're probably touching the wall. That's okay. So today we want to work a Shavasana with a feedback, and then drop your feet out. So try not to get too disturbed by the wall. So just feel how your feet are now resting, maybe just a part of your foot, maybe not at all. Just observe how that makes you feel. How used are you to a Shavasana without anything disturbing your feet. Bring your arms a little bit lower if they're still in a T. Adjust your shoulders, your head. Take a big breath in and exhale. So can you now resist pushing your feet down or feeling annoyed by the feet touching the wall? Can you just accept that this is where we are? Can you rest your feet on the wall? So lots of our life is made of resisting or reacting to things. So how can we change our perception as with our feet and say, I have a support, let me release and let go. And eventually the wall and your feet will become one. But if we continue to resist, we will always have that divide. So this is true for the wall in your foot, but this is also true in many things, in many times in our lives. So as with every practice, you decide how long you want to stay in your Shavasana. If your feet are touching the wall and you want to get out, just lift your toes up the wall. Maybe bring your legs a little bit closer and really use the wall now again as a tool to stretch yourself out as you inhale. Maybe stay here for 2 more breaths, really filling up your lungs, stretching your whole body. Exhaling through the mouth, letting go. Without that collapse in the body, but with the length you create by using the wall now. And then your next exhale, bring your knees into your chest and roll over to the right side, the left side, whatever is comfortable to come up into your seated position. Gently tuck your chin. And for a moment, take a deep breath in and feel the air coming in. Feel the air spreading in your body. We've done a lot of shoulder openers. So when you open the shoulders, you create space in the chest. And we did a lot of lengthening as well. Even if we use our muscles to stay straight, we create lots of length. So maybe the breath is easier now, more fluid. Our practice also brings us calmness, which allows the breath to move easier. And then bring the hands in front of the heart. Tuck your chin a little bit more, don't drop your head. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for practicing. Thank you for being. I wish you a wonderful day. Namaste.